and welcome to this week's episode of Perks of Being a Teacher. This week is going to look a little bit different because I'm deciding to bring in some of my other hobbies into this channel, and one of those is definitely cooking. So today I'm going to be showing you one of my absolute favorite meals that I say we have it probably once a month. Try not to have it too often so that we don't get sick of it. Most of the recipes that I use are from Half Baked Harvest. It's my favorite website to use. Tegan, the person that makes all of the recipes, she's so creative, and every week is a guarantee of a new recipe for me to try. So this one I have made for a couple years now, and I have it up on my iPad so you can see what it looks like on her website. So if you can see that part. So this one I make with a crock pot. It's called Weeknight Thai Peanut Chicken with spicy lime mango. I skipped the spicy lime mango just to make it, I guess, a little bit more simple. This one you'll see today, I'm going to make it on the crock pot, but I have made it on the stove top as well for days where I'm less prepared and just need to throw something on the stove. So the first thing I do is take my chicken, and again, these are all Half Baked Harvest instructions. This is not my recipe at all. And then I toss it with some sesame oil, and she says you can toss it with sesame oil or olive oil. I rarely have sesame oil, but today I did, so that's what I'm using. And you toss it with some red Thai curry paste. So we shop at Save On Foods, so this is just Western Family brand, and I don't fully measure. If I'm trying a recipe for the first time, I'll always measure very carefully, but this one I've made so many times that I just don't really feel like I need to measure. So I'm just mixing it with the red Thai curry paste and the sesame oil. I'm just putting the recipe. And then she also says to add some ginger. She says 2 teaspoons of ginger. Again, I don't really measure. And then I mix it. After it's all mixed, then you sear it on the stove. So that's the next thing I'm going to show you is how I sear it. So medium to high heat, and as I'm learning, gas heats up quickly. So I'm going to add the chicken to the pan right away. And on the pan I have a little bit of sesame oil. So this will take about 2 minutes on each side for it to brown. And then after it's all browned, then I'll be adding some cilantro and basil. She calls for fresh basil, but I couldn't find any at the store, so I'm just going to use dried basil. So I'm going to show you once it's all browned and the next steps. You can probably hear the chicken sizzling. It's almost done cooking. I'm waiting for it to settle down a little because I don't want the sauce getting everywhere right now. There's red sauce all over the countertop, which is fine, but I think I'm going to grab a towel. So really the chicken should not be cooked all the way through because you want the chicken to continue to cook when it's in the crock pot. So now I'm going to do is add a little bit of basil. And again, Tegan says to use fresh, but I couldn't find, so just sprinkle it. Oh, that was too much. And then she also says to add some cilantro. So I have some cilantro here. I just need to chop it quickly. And then you also use cilantro as a topping, so I always think to make sure to save a little bit. So I add the cilantro, and now I'm gonna mix it. And now I'm gonna create the mixture that goes into the crock pot. So this is gonna be the sauce, and this recipe makes a lot of sauce, and for just my husband and I, this recipe makes a lot of food, so I always freeze one container of it, and then I can like pull it out of the freezer for a meal a different day. So I'm just grabbing the recipe because I don't have this one memorized. So inside of the slow cooker, I'm going to add a can of coconut milk, a 1/4 cup soy sauce, some fish sauce, and that will be the mixture to start. And then after the food has cooked for a little while, then you add in the peanut butter and some lime juice as well. I like how Tegan has like so many recipes that use coconut milk because then it's dairy free. Even if she has a recipe that has cream, she'll always say that you can use coconut milk instead. Sometimes you don't maybe want the taste of coconut, but it's a really great alternative and it gives such good flavor. I prefer making this one in the crock pot because the chicken, after it's cooked all day, gets so soft. So this you will see I do measure because I don't know, I don't want to mess up the sauce. But like spices and things like that, that's all to taste. Often in recipes, I will split the soy sauce with water. So this is a 1/4 cup, so sometimes I'll add half of the 1/4 cup of soy sauce and then the rest with water. That's just because sometimes meals can get like too salty. But this one tastes okay just using the soy sauce as is. Okay, and then next I'm gonna add fish sauce. And Tegan always says that the fish sauce is optional, so I'm adding 2 tablespoons. But I think like some people think it's literally sauce from fish, but it isn't. It adds such good flavor, and a little bottle isn't too expensive and it lasts a long time. You just keep it in the fridge and it doesn't really go bad. So I've added coconut milk, soy sauce, and fish sauce. I'm gonna give it a little stir. This spoon I got when we were in Siena in Italy. So it's special. It's made from wood from olive trees. Okay. So after I mix it, it doesn't become a perfectly creamy sauce, so that's because it's literally gonna be cooking all day. And this is a great meal to make on a Sunday because for us, Sundays are for football. And we're in Clemson, but we are more so a NFL family where I'm a Bears fan and my husband's an Eagles fan. But it's nice to have this meal going during the day. I can just relax and then you can watch all the games without me having to be in the kitchen. I like being in the kitchen, but sometimes you just wanna relax and watch the games. So I'm just adding all of the chicken into the crock pot. Right now it's around 11:30 and we usually eat around 6. So I'll put it on high for maybe an hour or 2 and then I'll reduce it to low for the rest of the day. You can see the inside of the crock pot. So all I'm gonna do is put the lid on and I will leave it to cook for most of the days. Okay, so the meal has been cooking all day. It's about 5:30, and the last thing that I do is I add smooth peanut butter and lime juice from one lime, and then you let that cook for 30 minutes, and then the meal will be totally done. So before I do that, you can see that the chicken has shredded. So it's about half a cup of smooth peanut butter. And then juice from one lime. Then you stir it all in, and while this cooks for the next half an hour, I'll start with rice, and then the meal will be ready. Here you can see the finished product. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for next week's episode on Perks of Being a Teacher. Bye, everybody.